Good evening. This is David Lynn, and you are on Coffee Talk. Happy Halloween. I may need to record this as a podcast and so people can watch it later. I don't know if anybody's going to come on this evening. 7 p.m., which was when I normally come on. Hadn't been on the last couple of nights. Monday was the last time I came on. I had stuff going on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I thought about not going on tonight because I'm tired. It's been a day. But I said, no, I'll come on and I'll do at least 30 minutes or so this evening. And I am just about 4 minutes into the live stream. And I'm waiting for somebody to come in and say hello. But it's a busy day. It is Halloween. A lot of the folks may be out there trick-or-treating or going to parties. You never know. Never know. Hello, Uncle Al. Thank you for coming in. I was beginning to think I was going to be doing a podcast and not a live stream. Hello, KP Heathen. Welcome. And happy Halloween to you guys. I am not happy. I had another incident of debit card fraud. Someone managed to get my information and they used it to pay a $140 bill to AT&T Dallas. I live in Victoria and I don't have AT&T. So I reported it and disputed it with my bank, and I made an online police report. And hopefully I'm not going to be out $140, because if I wind up being out $140, I am going to change who I bank with. And that should hurt them considering the amount of money I run through my accounts during a regular month. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. 3 months or so ago, I had a similar incident happen. Somehow somebody managed to get a hold of my information and they tried to make a purchase. I disputed it and it didn't clear. This one cleared. I disputed it before it cleared, but I was told that they were going to wait until it cleared and then they would investigate it. That's what the bank had said. So I've been monitoring my account and it came through. Hello, Bud Files. I'll send you a text message, Uncle Al, after I get through with this and let you know basically what happened. I'm disgusted about the whole situation. That's the second time in about 3 months I've had to cancel a card. So now I've got to go and check on my bills that I pay through my account to figure out which ones are paid through my debit card and which one are bank drafts. I mean, I know a couple of them are bank drafts, but I've got to do a little research on it. And it just aggravates the sin out of me. When you start calling up and they put you on hold, and you're on hold for a long time. When I went to report it, I reported it and they canceled my card and they said, okay, now you need to dispute it. I was told, I called the number and it said your wait time is 2.5 hours. Well, I did not have 2.5 hours to wait. So I did an online dispute, and I don't like to do online stuff, but I did an online police report. So it's in there as a police report. But it's just aggravating. And that's where I'm at there. It's been busy. It's been a busy week. I had a meeting ran really late. I had to go over to another campus across town yesterday for a special education meeting. And it was a pleasant meeting, but it ran long, and having to go to a meeting at the end of a tiring day, that's not fun. And then I had something else the day before, so those 2 days I wasn't able to I didn't do a stream. I mean, I barely got home in time that I could have done a stream, but I was tired and I didn't feel like it. I really don't feel like doing one this evening, but I hadn't done one since Monday, so I said I need to do one. Yes, please hit the like button. It'll be greatly appreciated. So, the video that I released and it's been about 3 days since I released it. The video I released of me, doing the chaining, of hooking up the two batteries, that has a little over 400 views. And it's been like maybe 72 hours. It has a little over 400 views. Still getting views. Here lately, I drop a video and they tend to get less than 100 views. So the people who are viewing it, people who are viewing my videos pretty much follow me. Most of them. Now when something like that happens, like, okay, I got 400 some odd views, yeah, that's, the algorithms give me a little love, where it's been recommended, so, where people are searching, and I titled it Chaining Batteries, so it's got a few views. Was it retirement or was it budget? Somebody left me a comment. Can you show how you use it? So I said, well, I need to go ahead and hook up the 12-volt socket. And when I hook up the 12-volt socket, I can plug in 12-volt appliances, and I'll do a video, I'll hook it up, and then I'll show it running something. It'll be a brief video. Also, I need to shoot the components in Uncle Al's box. I mean, I got a box full of stuff for Uncle Al. It's a full box of different types of components and some freeze dried. And I'm going to send that to Uncle Al. I want to shoot a video of it before I send it to him. So I need to film a video, and it'll be 7 or 8 minutes. I've got about 20 to go before I hit 1800. So if anybody is in here or coming through, or anybody watches this and you want to be in my drawing, I need you to leave me a like and a supportive comment on the last 5, each of the last 5 videos I will have released when I hit 1800. And I don't know that that's going to be a large group. One of those videos that I have released, if I was to do it now, has 14 comments. So I know that there'll be no more than 14 people that will qualify at this point. Now, whether that one stands or whether there's a lot more, some people start paying attention and they start dropping comments and dropping likes, I don't know. But at this point, you know, it'll be another one of those where you got a pretty good chance of winning. You know, and maybe you're somebody that's won before, you can win again. Maybe you're somebody that I've given a goodie box to, you can be the winner. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to do it for this person because they've already won, or they've already received a box or whatever, or they might have received 2 or 3 boxes from me, and I'm not going to prevent them from, you know. I mean, I will tease Uncle Al, and I will tease Dave. Dave should have got his box. I've sent boxes to Uncle Al before, but they were like a video short. They missed one, you know. And I said, well, I really can't cheat for them. You know, I really can't cheat for them. And then the other thing I'll tell you is, I don't drop that many. I drop a couple of shorts every day. But we're not counting shorts, you know. We're not counting wall posts, community posts. We're not counting live streams. We're counting videos, YouTube videos. And I have done, in the last couple of months, I've done 6, 7 at most. I don't do that many videos. Now, I've done several here in the last 10 days. I've done like maybe 3 in the last 10 days. But it's like, you know, a couple of giveaway videos. And then that hookup video, you know, where I like to do videos when I send stuff to people, you know, and I show what I'm sending them. Now, something else I'll tell you, I'm thinking about blocking somebody from coming onto my channel. And the reason I'm doing it is I'm really frustrated because they come in, they leave the same comment every time they come in. I'm not talking about you, heathen. They come in, they leave the same comment every time they come in. And they never leave me a like. I never get a like from them. And I can tell. You know, and I've never got a like from them. To my knowledge, I've never gotten a like from them. And maybe they'll make a few comments to people who are there. Hello, so and so, so and so, so and so. But I never get a like from them. So I'm thinking about blocking them. Now I don't know if that's petty, but I'm aggravated about it. You know, and I have told them directly, and I have been on their channel, and I have left them likes and supportive comments on stuff. Not that often, but every time I've been on them, I always leave a like and a supportive comment. And I'll let them know I was like number whatever. To me, that's rude. To me, it's rude. You know, it shows a lack of training. But so many people treat likes like they're gold. They don't. They don't. They don't give you likes. You know, I had a short that had 6,600 views in 24 hours, and then it basically shut down. And that short got me like 130 likes, about 130 likes out of over 6,600, and it got me about 130 likes. And I'm happy when I get 130 likes. It's been a while since I got 130 likes. When I was before I was working, and I was very active on my channel, I'd get a couple of hundred likes. I'd get a couple hundred comments, from people. I would drop a video. You can go back and look at some of the history. I'd drop a video, and in the first 24 hours, it would have over 100 views. Within 48 hours, it'd have 200 views. Within 72 hours, it'd have 300 views. And by the end of the week, it'd have over 400 views. And it'd have a bunch of likes, and it would have 100 and some odd 200 comments. For a period of time there, that's the way it was going. Now, that was before I was live streaming. So I wasn't doing live streams, but I was doing videos. And I was trying to drop about a video a week. I'd drop about a video a week. And I did very few shorts at that time. I wasn't really doing... Uncle Al used to always encourage me, do shorts. And I wasn't really doing shorts. Buying space, little lone prepper. Melinda Elliott, welcome. I think I've had some transition in who's here. Welcome. I guess I need to tell you how things have been going and repeat what I said earlier. This is the first live stream that I have done since Monday. I did one Monday. I didn't do one Tuesday. I didn't do one yesterday, which was Wednesday. Been a very busy week, very late week. It's just been hectic. Yesterday I had a real late meeting after school. Well, it started at 2 o'clock. No, I lied. It started at 2:30. And it was over a 2-hour meeting. It was a pretty long meeting. I had to go on the other side of town to go there. First time I'd been there. I parked in the wrong spot, so I had to move. And it was a pretty good walk. And but it was a good meeting. Special education meeting. And somebody got my debit card information and used my debit card to pay a $140 bill to AT&T. I don't do AT&T. And I had to cancel the debit card, and I disputed it, and I had to do it. I did an online dispute, and I did an online police report. I tried to call the number to talk to somebody. Said my wait time was 2.5 hours. So I said, the hell with that, and I did an online dispute. They had time to stop payment, but they didn't. They let it go through, and $140.33 came out of my account. I have a temporary debit card replacement. The new one will be in about a week or so. What aggravates me is that some of my bills, repeat bills, are set to pay on my debit card, and having canceled it, now I have got to go back and reset all my reset payments. Now, some of them are drafts that will draft out of my account so I don't have to mess with it. Some of it will draft out. Some of it, however, I got to go back through and I got to, it's very aggravating. Very, very aggravating. Aggravating is sin that stuff like that happens. Hello, Utah Mike. So, for those of you who came in and I didn't say Happy Halloween to, I said that at the very beginning. Happy Halloween. And the video that I did, which was about 3 days ago, where I hooked up 2 batteries together to my solar, and I called it chaining batteries. It has 400 and some odd views. And I'd received a request, and I don't know if it was buying space, or if it was Utah Mike, or it was somebody requested me showing how to use, or how I use the power from those batteries. So I said, well, I've got to plug in a 12 volt socket, and I think I showed it. And I'll do a video showing it. But I'm going to plug this in hot to the neutral in the corners, opposite corners. Here's the plug. And it's got a, everything I get, I always make sure this got a fuse. It's fused. So you're not going to damage anything. So I got to hook that up. And I'll be able to plug in any 12 volt appliance that I have. The thing about 12 volt, which is direct current, is that it's going to be using under 100 watts. It'll use under 100 watts of power. And the main thing I would be running with it would be a 12 volt refrigerator. Compressor driven, Danfoss, compressor driven refrigerator, freezer, and I'm just going to use it as a refrigerator. I'm not using it as a freezer. I've got 3 dual zone units. 2 of them are Bouge RV that I purchased within the last 6 months. And nice ones. I did a video on one of them, the most recent one I purchased, which is a 45 liter unit. And comes in very handy. You use it for juice, sodas, milk, cold water, butter, cheese, cold items. And I've got one of them that I'm using in my room at school. And when it's running, it's using less than 50 watts when it's running. And I've got plugged into the AC, which the 110. You can run it on 110, you can run it on DC. The thing about if you're doing it and you're running it on 110 and you're running it through a pure sine inverter, like from your setup, that 110 inverter is using power even when it's just idling. If it's just on and it's not drawing a load, you're burning power. Whereas with the DC, the 12 volt, you're not bleeding power the way you are with the 110. So you've got the benefit of, like, A 110 refrigerator, which will be a lot bigger, or freezer, which will be a lot bigger, when it's running, it's using several hundred watts of power. It's running on several hundred, upwards of 1,000 watts sometimes when it's running, and it cycles the same way that the 12-volt cycles. The 110 that's running on the refrigerator that's running on 110 cycles. It runs for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then it's off for a certain amount of time. If you're not opening the door, if it's in an area that's not super hot, it doesn't cycle as much. If you're opening it, if it's out in the heat, like one of them is in the garage. I've got two, same thing, real nice Frigidaire refrigerators. One of them's inside my kitchen, climate controlled, where it stays about 70, 75 degrees at the most. We keep it set on 72, so it's pretty cool. And then the other one is out in the garage. Well, the garage is not climate controlled. And during the summertime, it's probably 90 degrees out there. Wintertime, it might be freezing out there. So I'm sure that the one in the garage cycles more than the one in the house, because in the summertime, because of the heat. It's insulated, but still, I'm sure it cycles more. And then if you open the door, let out some of the air, it's going to cycle. It's going to kick back on. When the temperature raises, if you have a rise in the temperature, it's going to kick on. If it's above what it's supposed to be. 7 watching, 7 likes. What is that? What do you mean, what is that? Yes, it is a mess. Well, I was talking about my refrigerators, and I was talking about them cycling. And I have 2 Frigidaire. Same thing. I ordered 2 of them. I have 2 Frigidaire refrigerator freezers, like 30 cubic feet, nice ones, stainless steel, nice units. One of them is in my kitchen, which is climate controlled. To keep the AC, I keep it set on about 72. And the other one's out in the garage. You want to say out in the elements? Well, the garage is closed, but it's out in the garage. It's not insulated. It's hot or it's cold, depending on the temperature outside. So that one will cycle more. If for no other reason, because of like right now, the heat temperature. It still gets up to close to 90 at this time of year. Yep. I have one that I'm running, and I'm running it on 110 in my room at school. And then I have one here at the house. The one at the house I'm not using. The one in my room at school is on 24/7, 365. I've run that thing for the last 3 months. Hasn't been off. And it should last. The compressor, it's a good quality one. It should last for several years before I have any problems. I got it on sale. It's going to pay for itself. It's on wheels. It's got a handle. I can roll it around. I could plug it into Wheat and Shaw. Hello, Wheat. Like number 8. Thank you, Wheat. I love your artwork. You are very talented. If you are not subscribed to Wheat and Shaw, you need to subscribe Wheat and Shaw. Um, Very funny, puts out some humor, and puts out some really good artwork. He does live stream. He puts out some good shorts. If you will subscribe him, he will subscribe you. You support him, he will support you. You grow together. Thank you for coming, Wheat. Appreciate you. So, as I was saying, and I'm 32 minutes into my live stream, I may try to stick it out for an hour. It's not been the best week in the world. For those of you just coming in, happy Halloween. And I had a incident with my debit card, and my debit card's compromised, so I had to cancel it. Somebody got information and they used it to pay a AT&T bill, $140.33. It said AT&T Dallas. So I don't know if they got the information and then they paid a bill in Dallas, or if they the account was in Dallas. I don't know. But somebody pulled card fraud on me. I reported it. I disputed it. I made a police report online. I disputed it online. That I got a message that I can't seem to open up saying that they've made a determination. It better be the right determination, or I will just go ahead and cancel my accounts. And I run quite a bit of money through my accounts on a monthly basis. I also have a savings with them. And if they don't make it right, I'm going to cancel them. I mean, I'm already inconvenienced having to change things over. If I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it. But that's a version of SHTF. That's an SHTF situation for me. I had to contact Blue Cross for my wife's policy. Make sure that it gets paid on the first. I have to contact multiple entities. Very aggravated. Now, some of my stuff drafts from my checking account. My checking account wasn't compromised, but the debit card was compromised. So canceling the debit card, I still have the account open. Well, see, I had it happen 3 months ago. I had to go through this crap 3 months ago. This is another incident. That account I closed. Same bank, and I started using my secondary account because I had a second account. Started using a secondary account. And it's like I want to start using cash. Like if I go to get food, or if I go to get, a lot of the stuff that I do, that small stuff I do, just pay cash. Don't involve my card, because there could be some employee that somehow is able to get the information. I don't want to take chances with that crap. Like I go in the morning and get tacos, I don't want to take chances. Mansing, welcome. So I will tell you, I I will be doing an 1,800 subscriber giveaway. I'm getting very close. I have less than 20 to go. When I hit the 1,800, I'll be taking the last video and I'll write down all the names of people who left comments, and then I'm going to backtrack 4 more and see who had left me a comment on each of the last 5. And if you've left me a like and a comment on each of the last 5, I will put your name in the hat and you'll be in the drawing for my 1,800 subscriber giveaway box. Good stuff. Look at one of my previous videos and you'll see what I put in my giveaway boxes. Every 100 I've been doing one. And I tell people, if you want to qualify, and you could have already won once and you can win again. You could be somebody I've sent a box to before, and just as friend, just wanting to send you a box of stuff, because I appreciate your support, and you could be the winner. And if I've sent you a box before, if you've been a previous winner, I will contact you about changing up some of the stuff that I put in it, so I send you different stuff. Because I try to send as much preparedness-related stuff as I can, so we'll change up some of the items. So I don't send you the same stuff over and over. I try to make changes. I did that with the Black Widow recently. I had sent her a box, and then she sent me a box, so I felt like I needed to retaliate, and I sent her another box. But I changed up what I put in it. It could be Uncle Al. I know that they've done that. I had that happen, I think, probably twice previously over the years at gas stations. I was over in Yorktown where I used to work as a principal, and I went to the gas station. I never went to the gas station over there, but I went to the gas station over there to get some gas because it was always 10 cents higher a gallon. And I always bought gas here in Victoria, but I hadn't bought gas and it was low and I didn't want to, so I bought gas. And apparently there was a reader that they had hooked up, and they were able to scan, and somebody started up in New Jersey. And like I told them, I've never been to New Jersey. I don't want to go to New Jersey. I don't have any business in New Jersey. So I had nothing to do with that. Many, many years ago, I went to Fiesta, Texas, and San Antonio. I used to have a year. I would buy a yearly pass when my kids were small. The wife and I would take the kids. We'd go 4 or 5 times over the course of the year, and I get a pass. So I was there way back when, and when you used to pay for minutes on your cell phone. Back in the days, they didn't have texting, but you talk on your cell phone, and you had a certain number of minutes, peak minutes, and then you had off time free. That would be like nights and weekends. It was free, and the rest you got a certain number of minutes, and then you paid a certain amount for each additional minute. And somebody apparently used a scanner when I was on the phone in the parking lot, and they scanned my frequency, and then I don't know how they used it or whatever, but they were making phone calls from Los Angeles to Mexico City, and they racked up several $100s, like a $350 bill. And then they got mad at me, and they said, "Well, you're making calls from Los Angeles to." I said, "I live in Texas. I've never been east of Texas. I've never been west of Texas. I've never been out there." And they were mad at me. And it got taken care of after a period of time. But I had to put up with the BS, being told, like lectured about, like it was my fault or something other, which it wasn't. Yeah, card readers. I've watched videos about that. They can attach a device that, they'll get something that looks like it's part of the machine or whatever. And when you go and you stick it in there, it lets you use it, but it also scans it, and I guess scans your signal or your information or whatever, and it stores your information so that they can recreate it or whatever, or they can make their own fake card, and use it to make purchases on your account. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's BS. It is BS. But it happened. You know, that's my version of SHTF. A small, an inconvenient SHTF occurred. This SHTF. And just aggravating his sin. Aggravating his sin. You got to watch out. There are unscrupulous people who do not care. They will rob a little old lady. They pull scams on old people. And I've heard about some of the scams that are pulled. You'll have somebody calling up saying they're the IRS. You owe money. You got to buy some gift cards, or you got to send them some. You got to basically make a payment over the phone or whatever, or give them your information. It's BS. But there are people who are naive and who will fall for that. There are older people who will be taken advantage of. And then sometimes they catch people like that. They catch people who do that. And it might be some 18, 19, 20-year-old introvert, autistic kid who's having fun. Or they enjoy causing chaos. They hack into this or they hack into that, and they cause chaos. And they enjoy it. And there are a lot. Always wiggle the card reader at the gas station, etc., to see if it moves. Good idea. Good idea. I mean, I used to do cash. Yes, I have things that come out of my account, draft or whatever, that are set up like utilities and various things. But I would do, and my wife uses her card, and I'll give her some cash. She'll have some cash, but she'll use her card for something that's $1.50. And I've told her, small stuff, pay cash. I've got an account that I created for her. I got an account I created for my daughter. They each have debit cards. They put money in the account, so they have spending cash. Like my kid, I've said, gasoline, food. Anything else? Talk to me about it. Food and gas. Hello, Mom of 4 boys. How are you doing? Or should I say Happy Halloween? You got zapped on auto pay? Yeah. I've heard stories, We were out freezing, trick or treating. Yeah. I've heard stories of like a reader, like an electricity reader or a water reader, meter reader, whatever, um, having erroneous information, and you're set up that the debit's out of your account, and then somebody gets a $500, $600, $700 bill um, debited out of their account, and there may or may not be funds in there to cover it, and then they got to go through the grief of trying to deal with it. Even if there's funds in there to cover it, they got to go through the grief of trying to get them to make it right, and that can take a while because people often do not want to, or their representative of the company, they don't want to admit that it's their equipment or there was an error or something, that occurred. Or they want to know, hello, Mr. Whistle. Or they want to know, did it happen um, on your side of the property or on the city side of the property? What side of the property was the leak? Or what side of the property was, whatever. It's like trying to make sure you're the one that has to pay for it. And as I've said, they love taking advantage of older people. Scammers. They love, people who are naive or people who are old. Scamming them. Don't give your information out over the phone. You don't know what'll happen. You do not know what will happen. Just, there are people who are up to no good and they don't care. They don't have any upbringing, home training, morals. It's been a while since I've heard of it happening, but I used to all the time hear about thugs attacking elderly people and hitting them, blindside hitting them, trying to knock them out. And they would refer to it as the knockout game. They'd walk up to some 70, 80-year-old person, man or woman, and blindside them and hit them as hard as they can to try to knock them out. And a lot of times it's on camera, but they're wearing a mask, so you don't see their face. They may be wearing gloves. They're dressed so you don't even know what race they are. And I've heard of that happening up in the New York. Would happen a lot in New York City. When I would hear about it on the news, it was usually New York City where it was happening at. And they would call it the knockout game. And I mean, they killed some people. They killed some people. I mean, incidents of somebody standing waiting for the subway, and somebody comes up behind them and pushes them out in front of a subway car coming along and kills them. I mean, it's pure meanness, and they get their jollies doing it. So you've got to be cognizant of who's around you, what's around you, what's going on. Somebody approaches you. Look at them. What do they have in their hands? Do they have their face covered? Do they seem to be? Do they have a weapon? Do they have a knife? The guy that had a hammer and used a hammer on, he was trying to beat Paul Pelosi. He was in his house. The police showed up, and this is a street person, and he had a hammer, and Paul Pelosi opened the door, and the police were there, and the guy was there, and Pelosi tried to grab the hammer, and the guy went after him with the hammer, and the police were there. And they got the guy. And I think Pelosi might have got hurt, but not that bad. 80 years old, 80 plus years old Pelosi, and some 30-year-old street thug, long-haired white guy, probably mentally ill. Mike Crusher Reviews. Hello, Mike. So, yeah. Well, I had my debit card compromised, Mike. Somebody got my information and used it to make a $140 AT&T payment to AT&T Dallas. Well, it said AT&T Dallas. I disputed it. I made a police report online, and I'm waiting to see what happens. And I had to cancel the card, and then now I'm gonna have to try to make some changes because I got money that comes out to make payments. So I gotta get that crap straightened out. It's just very aggravating. Dealing with stuff like that is just very aggravating. Criminals. And then you would think some idiot, if they're using that, if they're gonna basically use that to pay somebody's specific account, you would think they'd be able to figure out who did that or who was involved. It's not too bright. Not too bright. So my version of SHTF. Hadn't been on since Monday. Been busy Tuesday and Wednesday. Stuff going on. Tired. My wife had the tube in her side removed. So she no longer has the tube in the pump. So that's a blessing. She still has to go in for the treatment of the wound and everything because it's not completely closed up, and they keep, it's a messed up situation. That's a messed up situation. It's been going on for 2 months. Yeah, that is good news. That's good news. Something positive happened. But I wore I wear the same bloody thing every day. White dress shirt. I've got a dozen of them. And I wore a Halloween tie. I may post a picture of me by tie on the community wall. I don't know. But we got some rain here today. It's the first time in like a couple of months it's rained. We got some rain today. It's supposed to rain the next several days. It'll rain more tomorrow than it did today, but 50-60% chance of rain. I was inside, didn't even know it. Over at school when it happened. When I came home, you got water all the place. Everything's sort of wet, so it's like, oh yeah, we had some rain. Spotty. I don't even think it rained over at my school, which is on the other side of town. But so I had done a video of me chaining those two batteries together. I'm planning on getting a couple of more, and Black Friday's coming up, and I'll add them so I'll have like over 5,000 watt hours chained together. You can drain it all the way down. They're lithium iron, so you can. It's good for 15,000 cycles. You can drain it all the way down, recharge it. It's plugged into solar for charging. MPPT charge controller, maximum power point charge controller, and I'm basically dedicating it for 12 volt DC direct current. DC appliances run on 100 watts or less power. Like when my compressor driven refrigerator freezer is running, it's running on about 50 watts. I keep the thing set at about 30 degrees. It keeps my stuff cold without freezing it. Keeps it real cold. And it's on wheels. It's got a handle. I can haul it around. I got a couple of them just like it, Bouge RV, that I bought. You know, I buy stuff when they're having a Black Friday or they're having a Prime sale. That's when I buy, and I buy stuff when it's marked down. So they're gonna be having Black Friday. Walmart, a lot of the places are having Black Friday. It'll be for a week. You know, a week before Thanksgiving. Up through Thanksgiving, they'll have Black Friday. The day after, or whatever. So that's when you want to buy the expensive stuff. When they got marked down. You save 30, 35, 40% on some stuff. That's when you want to buy. When you can get a... Yes, my grass is brown. But with 2 or 3 days with the rain, it'll turn green. But it's also getting to the point in the year where it's going to start going dormant, where it's not really going to be growing. I'll probably, I'll wind up mowing it maybe one more time because it's short right now. It'd been mowed and it just hadn't been growing. But I'll probably wind up mowing it one more time, bag it up and everything so it looks nice. And when all the leaves are down, I'll mow it and bag it all up where it looks nice for over the winter. And yeah, I'll do that. We're still in hurricane season until the end of November. Some stuff in the news. Cuba's power grid fell out. Breaks my heart, but the communists do not have any power. It's been out for over a week. And I feel sorry for the citizens, But the communists would take them all to hell as opposed to giving up communism. And I don't know. It's like their chickens are coming home to roost, But the Castros are already dead and in hell. So, they don't know. They already did their damage and they're gone. They can't get fuel. They don't have money for fuel. They don't have anybody to help them. The people that were helping them are in a bad way. Russia can't really afford to help them. Venezuela can't afford to help them. They're having problems now. Venezuela started helping them after Russia stopped helping them. Now Venezuela can't afford to help them. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't have a lot of sympathy for those people. The election's in about a week. Make sure you go out and vote. Supposedly 64 million people have already voted. Massive red voting. Massive red state voting. I had the our washing machine go out. Sam Sud took it. Wife took it over to Miller's Appliances. Oh, this burned out and blah blah blah, and we can't fix that. So they said they all with it, just keep the damn thing. Paid them $110 to tell me that they couldn't fix it. So went and got a replacement, a GE appliance washing machine, 4.3 cubic feet. Nice one. Got it home, got it installed, it's working. Washing clothes. That was a major league headache, dealing with that. Yeah. Oh, the liberals are panicking. They're just beside them. They are so outraged. Uh, there was a campaign event in Madison Square Garden, right at 20,000 people. The place was jam packed, and they had a comedian that did a routine, and he made an off-color remark about the Puerto Ricans. You know, garbage in Puerto Rico. And I mean to tell you, people are going crazy. And it was Trump. And it was at the Trump rally, but Trump didn't have anything to do with it, and he disavowed it. But somebody, come in to do a routine, and they did a routine, and they made a remark about Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans. Oh, they're outraged. They got to find some reason to be outraged at Trump. Trump's still breathing, so they're outraged. Yeah, they tried that in Pennsylvania. Something like 2,500 ballots, and they got caught on that one. And then Governor Youngkin in Virginia threw out 1,600 voter registrations for people that possibly are illegals. Because you got some like that. They get a driver's license. They automatically enroll them to vote, even though I would not be giving illegals, non if they weren't here legally, I would not be giving them a driver's license. And then out in California, they say, well, you can't ask. Somebody shows up and they want to vote, let them vote. So you may, Kamala Harris may win the popular vote in California and Illinois, Chicago, and New York City and all that, where all the New Jersey or whatever, in those places where they don't enforce crap. And they encourage them to come vote. So it may be, because he's not going to win those states anyway. I mean, he's trying to win New York. And, he just may do it, I don't know. But he's going to have a really good showing in New York. But he probably won't win it. And he doesn't need to win, he doesn't need to win California and Illinois and New York in order to win the election. He's got to win those battleground states. He's not expected to win those states. There are 7 battleground states that he's ahead in, mostly, that he has to win some of those states. He's got to win like 3 or 4 of those states in order to, win the election. If he wins all of them, it'll be a sweep, And they're saying there's a couple of states there that he wasn't expected to win that he may win, and it'll be a blowout, So I don't know. No, I don't think he'll win New York. I think he'll make a damn good showing in New York. But I don't think he'll win New York. The Republican that ran for governor in New York came pretty close. And I think that's what he'll do. He'll put in a good, strong showing where it's not embarrassing. He's not going to get blown out in New York. He'll get blown out in California. He'll probably get blown out in Illinois because of Chicago. And when you look at California, it's the it's 3 or 4 big cities. That's where all their votes are. If you look at the rest of the state, it's pretty well red. But the population is in those big 3 or 4 cities. That's where all the, you look at a map of the United States and you look at the blue and the red. The blue is basically pockets surrounding really huge cities. That's where the Democrats are going to get their votes from. the huge cities. You know, mostly. Mostly. That's what, in the rest of the country, in the rural areas of the country, the flyover areas of the country is pretty well red. You know. So, yeah, I think there'll be fraud. There will be nothing limiting them in the big blue areas. There'll be nothing limiting them. Like Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by a couple of million, but it's like in California, in in New York, in Illinois, um, just massive numbers in several areas, and that's where she went way over, especially California, where she went way over, the popular vote. That's where she went way over in the popular vote. And she was mad as hell that she won the popular vote and she wasn't president. But the Electoral College was set up to protect the smaller states and the smaller areas that don't have the massive population, to make it fair. So that if you win a state, you win the electoral votes for that state. Yes, only legal citizens should be able to vote. Well, I'll tell you the way things are. Right now, we're studying in U.S. history. We've been covering the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the early history of the country, the Federalist Papers, and that kind of stuff. And, you know, when the country became independent, and they had the Constitution, then they had the Bill of Rights, which is the first 10 amendments. They had the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. They set standards for voting. Well, up until about 100 years ago, women were not allowed to vote. Women did not get the vote until like 1921, I think it was. And in order to vote, you had to own property. And you had to pay a poll tax, where you paid to vote. It was a small amount, but you had to pay a little fee to vote. And at one point, there was a literacy test. You had to be literate. So you had to be able to read. You had to pay a small fee. And you had to be a property owner. Now, could you imagine if they would say, well, in order to vote, you got to own a home. In order to vote, most people are literate, or at least to the point they can basic reading. So that wouldn't be an issue. But could you imagine if they wanted people? The Democrats are complaining about the fact that you have to have an ID to vote. They don't charge you to get an ID. Most places you can get an ID and they're not going to charge you a fee for it. So it's not a burden to have an ID. But like, you want to get on a plane, you want to get a passport, certain things, you are required to have an ID. You want to buy a gun, you have to have an ID. And Yeah, they took care of it for him. They do that with a lot of people. Hell, they have I have I have seen where they walk the mentally retarded adults that live in a group home. They take them to vote. They will take them to vote, or they will do, absentee ballot, mail-in ballots for them. Do you think they actually, is that an intelligent vote? Do they know what they're voting for? You know, you take somebody who's died and you use their information in order to cast a ballot. Do you think that dead person voted or wanted to vote? Did that dead person know what they were voting for when somebody used their identity to cast a ballot? It's like the old joke. The little boy goes down to the courthouse. And what are you doing here, son? Well, I'm here to see my father. Why are you here to see your father? Well, he died 3 years ago and I'm told he's going to vote. I wanted to see him. Well, I mean, even Jimmy Carter back 50 years ago, because he hadn't been president, 45 years ago or whatever. Been, since he'd been president when he left office. And as bad as he wasn't nowhere near as bad as Joe Biden. All that socialist crap. Oh, but he's going to vote Democrat. Well, he was a Democrat president. And he wasn't a good one. I used to always say he was the worst president we'd ever had. But then Obama came in. And then Biden. So, by God, you think Carter was bad? Look at Obama and look at Biden. Biden was worse than Obama. God help us if Harris comes in. All of the people that are on staff are the ones that are running things. And then they're consulting with certain people in the machine. And and there's influence from the big mega donors. They want this, they want that, they want to sponsor this, they want you to sponsor that. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. You got people who are donating to ultra liberals, like running for district attorney or running for attorney general. People that, you get elected, you don't prosecute. You let a lot of stuff go and you don't prosecute, even though the law says that they broke the law and they get indicted. They arrest them, but you don't prosecute them, or you prosecute them for a lot lesser offense. And then they use lawfare, and they're using lawfare like going after Trump. All the cases that they went after him. Oh, he was part of an insurrection, or he took information. He took classified documents from the White House. Now, doesn't matter the fact that the president is able to declassify, and if he takes this, I declassified it. And like when Clinton took some stuff out, and they wanted it. The archives wanted it, and they tried to get it from him. They talked about he kept it in a sock drawer. And they said, well, If the president took it, it's his. He has a right to it. And you know what's really funny is when they said, well, you can't prosecute Biden because he's incompetent. He did it, he's guilty, but we can't prosecute him because he's incompetent. But he's still the president. They haven't invoked the 25th Amendment. If he's not competent to stand trial, how is he competent to be president of the United States? He did stick his foot in his mouth, calling Republican voters or Trump supporters garbage. So the millions and millions of people who vote for Trump, 75 million people or so, whatever, half the country, half the voting population, legal voting population of the country, oh, they're garbage. It was like Hillary Clinton and all those deplorable people who voted for Trump the first time. Bunch of deplorable people. Deplorable is just another way to say worthless, bad people. You know. Just disgusting. Disgusting. So anyway, guys, those of you who are still here, I appreciate it. I'm tired. I will try to come back tomorrow for another edition. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I'll tell you what, the last two Mondays, Monday evening, I was saying, is it Friday yet? It's been that kind of week. But I'll be back for another edition. Every day when I get up, I thank God for the day. I drink my coffee, I take my medication, I say the Lord's Prayer, I contemplate the day, what's going to happen. You need to do that. You need to have a routine and do it. Say your prayers. Everybody needs prayer right now. Keep your eyes open. Show your manners. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Be safe. Be respectful. Be responsible. And happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Night.